So I recently received a request from a subscriber on the channel, Ziltron30, asking how to ditch his physical equipment and set up a virtual lab environment with EVE-NG. In this video, I show you how. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is download the emulation software called EVE-NG, and they have a free version as well as a paid version. Of course, a paid version will come with more additional features, but the free version is more than enough to get you started testing and playing around in your own lab environment. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is go to Google and type in EVE-NG, that's EVE-NG, and I'll have these links in the description section as well. So the first thing that I see is eveng.net, so I'll click this download button. It'll take me to the downloads page. And here, I'll just go ahead and click on the free community edition, and it'll scroll me to that position on the page. And so what we'll be downloading is the OVF file. This is a pre-built image that we're going to use to install in a software that's also free called VMware Workstation Player. So I'll go ahead and download the Google Mirror OVF. Alright, well, Google's not working at the time, so I'll download via Mega. Once this page loads, I'll go ahead and click the green download button. This will take a moment to install, so I'll go ahead and speed up the recording and see you when it's done. Alright, so once that finishes downloading, it'll show up in your downloads folder. Next, what I'll go ahead and do is, if I navigate back over to the download page for EVE-NG, I want to download the VMware Workstation Player. It'll redirect me to VMware's download site. And right here, I'll simply click Go to Downloads. And for the 64-bit Windows operating system, if you're using Windows, this will be the one to select. So I'll go ahead and click Download. Alright, that is just downloaded as well. And since the EVE-NG image is going to run inside of the VMware Workstation Player, I'll go ahead and start that application. So if I go ahead and navigate to my Downloads folder, I'll select the VMware installer, and I'll go ahead and run this task as an administrator. Alright, so I'll go ahead and select Next, accept the terms license agreement. I'll leave that as it is and select Next. I'll unselect the Join VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program. Feel free to do what you please. And I will go ahead and install the application. Alright, and that has finished installing. So now what I'll go ahead and do is type in VMware. This is the application right here. I'll go ahead and click it. Alright, and now it has launched the VMware application. I'll go ahead and expand it to make it a bit more visible. And this is what it looks like. So what we want to do is open the virtual machine that we just downloaded from EVE-NG. In order to do that, we need to unzip this file. So I'm using 7-zip. I'll go ahead and extract the files. Alright, so now that we have this folder unzipped, we can see the OVF file as well as the VMware virtual hard disk that we'll be using once we import this virtual machine into VMware Workstation Player. What I'll do from VMware Workstation now is I'll click Open Virtual Machine. I'll navigate back to my Downloads folder. And here, I'll select the EVE-NG OVF file. I'll simply give this the name EVE-NG, and I'll go ahead and import this as a virtual machine. So this process will also take a moment, so I'll go ahead and pause the video and skip to when it's completed. Alright, now that it's finished importing, I'll go ahead and start the virtual machine by clicking the green play icon. Alright, so the EVE-NG virtual machine has come online, and from here I can see the default username is root, and the password is Eve. So, I'll type in the login at root, and the password of Eve. Alright, so once I get logged in, it's prompting me to enter a new root password. So I'll go ahead and do that, and re-enter in that root password. I'll leave the name as EVE-NG. DNS, I will go with 8.8.8 for Google. I'll select DHCP for an IP address. I'll type in the host name, IP address of an NTP server. You can skip this, so I'll just press OK. Proxy server, I'll just leave that as is and hit OK. From here, I'll let EVE-NG start up, and I'll see you when it's done. All right, so once it loads, I can see that EVE-NG gives me the IP address 192.168.0.2 to access it from my browser. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and launch my Chrome browser again. And from here, I'll go ahead and enter in that IP address that it gave me, which was http://192.168.0.2. And I'll go ahead and hit enter. And here I can see that it takes me to the EVE-NG webpage. So I'll type in the default username of admin and the default password Eve, EVE, and I'll hit enter. And boom. So now we currently have the software platform EVE-NG, which is going to allow us to build out some nice labs and just get familiar with the platform. In order to create a lab, I would click Add New Lab. I'll just name this New Lab. And this is the canvas. We can add devices by coming here and selecting the node option. And there's a lot of templates to choose from, but by default, these aren't installed. But you'll see in blue is what is actually installed. Everything in gray is what can be installed, but isn't currently. So, for instance, you can plug up a VPC and drag and drop that onto this platform. From here, you could already begin to get some connectivity going and just running a test with 2 PCs. In an upcoming video, I'll be demonstrating how to add some of those grayed out virtual appliances that we saw earlier to this EVE-NG lab setup. Alright, well that is the end of this video. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel and tick that bell notification icon so you can stay tuned for future videos. As always, thanks for viewing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.